Hey guys, this is Bhagyashree, certified educator at Unacademy. You are on the course English Grammar is Easy, and indeed it is. So guys, you're going to see the third part of active passive voice, and it is going to be really interesting. Okay, so download the Unacademy learning app from Google Play Store if you have not yet downloaded. And guys, do upvote the course, do give it a 5-star if you like it, and comment your doubts, queries and suggestions too. So guys, English Grammar Made Easy by me, Bhagyashree Ghosh. Let's get started. So this is the slide by which you can read more about me, and the link by which you can know about my other courses. Active passive voice, and being the third part. So now, up to now, you already know all the rules. You know how to convert an active voice sentence into passive voice. Okay, and probably if we do the reverse from passive to active, okay, when you will develop the habit of converting active to passive, of course we are going to do the reverse also. We have seen some cases, we have seen in that how we deal with the sentence of what tense. We have seen all the 3 tenses, but in this lecture guys, some more details are there, like this one, passive voice of double objects. Okay, what it means to say, see, there are many sentences in which there will be 2 objects. Now what will you do? For example, there is a sentence, he told me stories. So this is the subject we know. Now told is the verb we know. Now told what? Told story. Told to whom? Told to me. So here we have 2 objects. If you remember the clause chapter. So here we have stories, which is the direct object. And we have the word me, which is the indirect object. Yes, ironically both the words are an object. Similarly, he gave me a book. Here, book is the direct object, but me is an indirect object. So what do you think guys? What will you do in the sentences you have two object? And we know that when we convert the sentence into one or the other form, what we do is we make the object as the subject and subject as the object. But here we have two objects. So how to deal with it? See here. See, we have 2 options, and both the options are correct. Either you make the indirect object as the subject and proceed with the sentence, or you make the direct object as the subject and proceed. What I mean to say is, see here, these sentences, right, he told me stories, these can be written as in 2 ways. Stories were told to me by him. What I did, I took the direct object and I made the sentence into passive voice. Stories were told to me by him. This is correct. Now in the second case, what I did, I took the indirect object. Indirect object is me, and I made its passive. So me changed to I, that we all know. So I was told stories by him. So what is the thing, that him is at the last. Him becomes our new object, which was the subject originally. And now we have 2 cases, right? That in this case we made stories as the subject. In this case we made me as the subject. So similarly in the second sentence also I did like that. Direct object I took first, then I took indirect object. Guys, grammatically both the sentences are correct. It means that whether you take the indirect object as the subject or you take the direct object as the subject, practically both are correct. But there is one tip. If you do that, it will be more better. The tip is that try to make the indirect object as the subject always. It sounds more meaningful. See, from these 2 sentences, if we read this, I was told stories by him. So it was like we are focusing on I, we are focusing on the word me. Here we are focusing on stories, but stories is again told to me. Here indirect object makes more sense, although both the things are same, but it makes more sense. It makes more sense to hear. It make more sense to digest the meaning of the words, the sentence. Similarly here. So the tip is, try to take the indirect object as the sentence's subject. Okay, although you can do it in both the ways. Okay, so this was the thing. There are some more examples. You can pause it and you can read it. Like, he teaches us grammar. Again, it is being written by two ways, and now you know both the ways are correct, right? So this one was just an observation. So let us continue. You can read it by pausing it. This is passive voice of question sentences. What it means? It just means that when you have a question in active voice and you're asked to make its passive voice, what you will do? Case, there is no case. This is just an example. This is the first example. Okay, so the first case is, who broke this chair? Now, how to write this to convert it into passive voice? We have written it like this: by whom was this chair broken? Now you will say, ma'am, who is there, chair is there, why have we not changed them? Why? Because for us, who is the object. Okay, and when we make who there, so who being the object, but since, guys, these are an exception, that for the question, whatever the first word is, guys, do remember this, whatever the first word is, you have to take the first word only. Means you can change its form, of course you will be changing its form, and that is the need of the question. But who is there, so by whom has to be there. What you need to change? Broke this chair. Broke this chair can be like chair broken. Okay, these two can be swiped, but if we are talking about who, we cannot swipe it, guys. This is the rule for the question sentences. Let us see more examples. See again, when did he send a letter? Again, when I change it to passive voice, when did he send a letter? Again, send and letter, these two words, again, these will be interchanged, and all the rules will follow. Every rule will follow, the way we do, the way we take the past participle and all the things. All the rules are going to be followed. But the word when, if it is changing due to the tense and all the things, okay. If it is not changing, let it be like this. So when will be here like this, and the changes that we do generally can be done. So there is no extra rule for these kind of sentences. For questions, there is no extra rule. Just we need to understand which is the object, which is the subject. And just one thing more, keep in mind, if the first word is where, try to start it with where, or who, by whom, such kind of things. Just this is a thing for practice, and it will be done with perfection. Okay, this is, now I have brought a task for you. There are 20 questions. What you need to do is just change the voice of these questions, so in which you will practice that. First of all, you will find it that whether these are in active voice or in passive voice. Okay, of course these are the question sentences. So just do one thing, pause this video, because in the next slide I am having all the solutions to it. Pause it, and after I count 3, I will change the slide. Okay, up to then you just sit with a pencil paper or whatever, and just try to solve it and see whether you are correct or not. Because there is something that self-teaching is the best teaching. When you will do it by yourself, then only you will be able to understand that how much it is okay or how much it is not. So here I bring the solution for you guys. There is the solution. Now you can match your answers with it. Now you can also see that in where a little bit, if there is any mistake or not. If there is a mistake, you can correct the mistake. You can also see it with the rules, as all the rules have been told to you beforehand only. Just see whether any problem is there or not, and if there you feel any kind of problem, okay, just comment it down. I will be reading your comment and I will be answering it. Don't worry at all. Now guys, the next concept, again one more concept here, is passive voice of intransitive verb. Now what is intransitive verb? Remember, intransitive verb, these are those words, guys, that do not require any object in a sentence. And examples are go, sleep, smile. Like I go, I sleep, I smile. Now if you are given the word I go, then how will we change? Yeah, right. How will we change it into passive voice, because I go does not have any object? What will we do? So in such a case, what it is that intransitive verb, solution is that intransitive verb can be converted into transitive verb. Do you remember how we converted intransitive verb into transitive? By putting to. That's why this solution is also called object to preposition. Remember it? Okay. I hope that you remember this. I have already told you this, right? So what we do is that after putting to, okay, to is a preposition, and we can put a word which can be in noun, which can be an adverb, which can be an adjective. Okay. So like here is an example for you. He smiled at me. Now, if the sentence were he smiled, so it is understood that he smiled, we will be putting at me by our own side. Okay, so that we make, because if it is written he smiled, then it is an intransitive verb. So we will not be able to change it into passive form. What we do is he smiled. Of course, if he smiled, so we will be assuming it that he smiled at me. Now he smiled at me, by putting all the rules in general, change it into passive form. No hard and fast rule. It is done like this. Similarly, two more examples are there. You can pause it and you can read it. Now again there is a task. Again you will just pause it, and there are 6 questions in which you need to convert these sentences into passive voice, and these are all dependent on this concept itself. Okay, and here comes the solution of it. Okay, now again last exercise. Now why this last one? Again this is one more last exercise that again you need to change these from passive to active. See here, it is already in passive form and you need to change it into active form. So what you have to do, you know how to change an active voice to passive voice, so you must also know the reverse. Try and practice it by yourself without cheating, guys. Don't cheat yourself. And there is the solution for it. So if after doing all this, if your concepts are clear, then it means that now your grammar is becoming strong. And still, if there is any problem, guys, do comment it down. I will try to solve all your problems. And if you like it, do rate it a 5-star. Enroll in the course and do give it an upvote, because when you give an upvote, I come to know that whether you liked it or not. Okay, whatsoever is your comment, do like it, share, contribute. And again, I will be going to remind you that this is the link by which you can follow me. Okay, so that's all for today, guys. Thank you very much. This is Bhagyashree signing off from Unacademy.